Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would absolutely love it if you want to support me, if you want to support the channel, if you would consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. Before we begin, let's get a couple of things out of the way, right? If you don't like this content, if you think that content creators are obsessed, if you think people are talking about this too much, if you are just like, wrap it up, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Just keep going. You don't have to comment this on my channel. Like, this is a commentary channel. I am not the only commentary channel out there. There are plenty of commentary channels. Commentary channels have always existed. um if you don't like the content, if you don't feel that it's relevant, you don't have to watch this. In addition to that, do not put things in my comments like, you don't care about the kids. What if the kids see this? I am not the mother of Bry's children. Bry, Tyler, Deshaun, Ashley, these are all the people who have came forward. The actual parents of the children have came forward with this story. So at the end of the day, if they are cool and they are okay with this story being shared, then hey, who am I to tell them otherwise what to do with their lives and what's right and what's wrong? There are things that I have not put on my platform. There have been documents shown. There have been other things that have been shown that I did not feel comfortable talking about on my personal platform. But the things that I have covered are things that have come directly out of the mouths of everybody involved. So again, if you feel some type of way, if you think that this content is terrible, if you're worried about what the kids are doing, hey, that's all valid and fair. But at the end of the day, I am going off of what the parents have said and done, and they have been fine with this story out there. You don't know what Bri has told her kids or not. You don't know what Bri wants her kids to know or not. And it's not my place as a content creator to do that. I don't know why y'all feel like as content creators, we are responsible for what Bri's children see. Like, to me, it doesn't add up. So anyway, do not put these comments in my comments. You will have your comment deleted. And if you comment on someone else's thread and say, she deleted my comment, oh my God, you will be blocked. So just don't bother. If you don't like it, scroll past. Anyway, we are going to get into this Dear Future Wifey Tyler podcast. I'm going to let you all know now we are not watching the whole thing. I'll watch as much as I can before I get too irritated, and then we will be done there. So let's jump into it. I am ready to share my screen here. So we will go right on ahead and get into it.
And speak my truth. From what
Sorry. Why am I missing the volume? What happened? What happened?
watching what I sing, you give a
What is going on? Give me just 1 second, guys. I have to unshare to figure out what's going on with the volume here. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't have headphones connected, so why am I not able to hear anything?
a platform to people.
What is going on? The volume is up. Settings. Okay, hold on, guys. But in the meanwhile, yeah, this is gonna be really something. I've seen clips of this. I've watched a little bit of it. So I already know it's about to be a whole mess with this whole thing. I just can't believe Tyler. I just can't believe Tyler. All right, here we go. I fixed it with my speakers, so we should be good now.
To speak their truth, a comfortable space. Feel like you're not looking for any clicks. You're looking for honesty. You're just looking for someone to come here and speak and just, like you said, chop it up and just
chop it up.
We're here to talk.
I have an agenda on this episode. I have an agenda because it's all about healing. As a Black man, I love you. I care about you. I care about your emotional well-being. Along with that, I care about Bri. I care about Deshauna, and I care about, most importantly,
her name's Deshawn, not Deshauna. It's Deshawn.
Your queen that took vows with you, and that's Ashley. And the reason why I say most importantly is that when people take vows with their particular person, hopefully we all take them for better or for worse, through sickness and health, and till death do we part, among other things. And so when this queen took these vows with you, She's getting a lot of negativity. She's getting a lot of people saying that she is unwise with marrying you, when this whole experiment and this experience that y'all went through is an opportunity for her to date outside of her typical preference and to have an emotional connection with somebody that supersedes the physical.
Yeah.
Luckily, both of y'all are attractive people, so y'all won both ways. But a lot of times a lot of people are saying that she lost by taking a vow with you with the information that has come to the world's knowledge. What do you feel about your wife being attacked as much as she is?
For me, this is attack me. I've said it multiple times. Attack me. She had nothing to do with this situation. I will say 20 times anywhere, she does not condone leaving kids. She doesn't condone abandoning kids. She loves all her nephews. She's a very loving person. What people don't understand, or they do understand, they just don't want to hear it sometimes, is it's been a year.
Yeah.
So I want to stop there already. First and foremost, one thing you're going to notice he does a lot in this interview is kind of like skirt the questions. Like, for instance, bringing up that Ashley loves her nephews, that really has nothing to do with this situation at hand. It doesn't mean anything. Like, second of all, people aren't upset that Ashley's with Tyler. I don't think that's the original issue. Or they also they both seem to drill in on this, like, everyone thought Ashley didn't know what was going on, and she actually does. And y'all keep telling her she doesn't know when she actually did. That's not the problem. I think that they're willfully being obtuse about the fact that the issue that people have is that she is standing by as you're being a deadbeat father and defending you 10 toes down as you're being a deadbeat father. And I feel like that is really what is throwing people for a curve. And I find it irritating and annoying that they both keep drilling in on this, like, oh my goodness, you guys are just insulting my intelligence by thinking I don't know about this. It's like, girl, we understand We're just wondering why you're so adamant about defending a man who's being a deadbeat towards his kids. Or conversely, just be upfront and be honest and say, I don't care. That's my man, and I'm sticking by him. Which she essentially did say that on Nick Viall. She essentially said marriage is for better or for worse, but it's just the way they talk about it. It's like, that's not what we're saying, and y'all know that.
Has information, and people say, no, you don't. She doesn't have to share our personal information. Does she check me for things? Absolutely. That's what a wife does. Will she check me in front of cameras? No. I wouldn't do it to her either.
That's good.
So what we talk about in private, a lot of it may never be public. And I get that what was shown was entertainment.
Right.
It was entertainment, but now our lives are real. So the part that you've seen on TV, what was shown, that was the entertaining part. This is real. So
I don't think anybody ever thought this was entertainment. I think that people are in shock. Like, what do you even mean by that? The part you saw on TV was entertainment? I don't think that this was ever entertainment to anyone. I think it was a lot of confusion.
If she doesn't step in front of camera and drag me through the mud like everyone else is doing, she's a pygmy, she's a bird. She's not that at all. You won't check her in her face. I'll tell you that, because I won't either.
My question to you is, what made you decide to go on Netflix's Love is Blind?
I've heard so many people say this, and I honestly mean it. I don't watch TV. Ashley can vouch for me. I don't watch reality TV. I'm still old school. I go to the movies, still buy the popcorn at the movies. They reached out on my LinkedIn. I had no clue what the show was about. Went through the entire process, figured it wasn't a scam because they didn't ask for any bank information. So I was like, we're good here. Got on the show. Once going to the show, I just figured I've tried love every other way. I've done the dating apps, been in these streets, and nothing comes from it. It's so hard to find a wife. So if you have an opportunity to try something out of the norm, not saying that I was going for a wife, but why not go try?
Wait, what does that mean, Tyler? What do you mean not saying I was going for a wife? This is literally a show to find a wife. So are you admitting on the stand here that you were going on the show for clout? Because I mean, hey, so is everyone else, but at least, be for real about it. I don't know what you mean. You're not going for a wife if you're literally going on a dating show that is intended to be about finding a wife. Anywho,
Came out with a wife, but it was all worth it. We know why not.
So from a curiosity standpoint, after they started entertaining you in the DMs, it didn't make you go and watch the previous seasons?
No, so I had asked, like, should I go watch? But I'm a study type of person. So if I watch something, I'm watching it to study.
And you're going to start calculating how you're supposed to move.
Yes, and then trying to act like specific people. And they were like, no, if that's who you are, don't even go look. So I avoided watching a show for that specific reason because I'm just going to be me and this is what you'll get.
So going on the show, you were prepared to actually, if all things and all hearts and minds are clear, that you said, I would get married at the end of this experiment.
Oh, absolutely. Any of my friends, family could tell you that that's all I've ever wanted was love. So I'm like a love searching. I didn't get it much growing up. So I'm someone who just constantly seeks love.
What do you mean you didn't get it much growing up?
So my dad wasn't around, which was shown. My mom was a survivor. People grow up surviving. She had to work all these jobs. So for us, it was me, my brother, and my sister. And all we had was each other, fun outside. There was no kisses goodnight. There was no I love yous.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time my mom told me she loved me, I was about to get deployed overseas. I was leaving. That was the first time in 19 years I heard her say it.
And what's your position in the military?
I was a cook.
You was a cook?
Yeah. I heard some other stuff. And I don't know. I was a cook on a ship. So I know people are running around saying I was these other things. I wasn't. I was a cook.
So
people got the other information off your LinkedIn. It is interesting, the stuff he talked about with his mom, and he does fall a lot in this interview into this, like, I didn't have a father, I didn't really get love. My mom didn't really show me love. And I think that's interesting. I can't really say too much there. But in terms of the job stuff, I mean, we got that off LinkedIn. All of this came off LinkedIn. And actually, Lateris, he commented on a post saying that in the interview, Tyler says he does not go to college. I don't know if I missed it when I watched it. We'll see in this rewatch. But remember, on Tyler's LinkedIn, it says he has an associate's in business administration. So again, this man lying. Let's go.
And you're no longer in the military now?
No, I got out in 2017.
But you do have a government job now?
No. So I was working for Exelon Energy for a long time, which was nuclear security. And now I do sales. So I run a business called Temporary Wall Systems. It's a franchise, but it's me running the entire business.
So people online have been saying you've been misleading people on your profession.
No, when I applied for the show, I was nuclear security. So I had been there for.
But you were also an accounts manager. You were nuclear security. You were in the military now. And then you also do something with drywall that you said, what happened to being an account manager? And what happened to be a nuclear security agent or whatever it was? What is your job, Tyler? What's the job?
For 10 years.
Okay.
So I've done it for a very long time. And I wanted to get away from it because it was a very boring, it was boring. So you protect it, but it was a sit there. I didn't get to talk to people every day. I'm someone who loves to interact with people. So I was like, what can I do? Switched over to sales, ended up with a great guy. His name's Drew. He runs the entire business. And he was like, look, I bought a franchise. I trust you. Let's see if you can run it. And I've been there for almost 10 months, almost coming up on a year now.
Were you surprised when I named the people I cared about? When I said I care about Bree, I care about Deshauna. One group of people that I left out that are extremely important are the kids. So I definitely care about them. Was that like, why you care about Deshauna? Why you care about Bri? I said Bree, but Bri, did that shock you to hear me say I care about them?
No, it didn't shock me. From speaking or watching your platform, if you're a God-fearing man, I don't expect you to not love anyone else,
Because I believe in healing. I believe that everybody has a story that they've lived, these experiences that they have, the way they see and view life and relationships, how they're viewing you. People that are watching this podcast are going to be viewing you through their own trauma. The things that you say are going to either trigger them because they're going, I met a guy just like him, but you're not talking to Tyler. Like you're hearing Ray, you're hearing
it's PTSD.
Joe. Yes. And so you're responding out of that. And so what I try to do on the Dear Future Wifey podcast is to create
And that's fair. I think that is a good point to bring up where, and this is the reality, because I feel like even sometimes y'all be coming at content creators and talking about how we're biased and we're this and we're that. And it's like, at the end of the day, like everybody watches these shows from their perspective. Everybody's going to pick out things and center on things that relate to their own life. And obviously, we're all watching a snapshot of all of this. Like, nobody knows the truth. Even here, look, I'm coming on here, I'm listening to this, I'm hearing Tyler out. I'm sure there are some sprinkles of truth in what even Tyler is saying. But the reality is, I just think that this situation is awful. It's horrible. And I think that cannot be denied.
Safe space where you, sir, who's sitting on this yellow couch, you have the opportunity to share truth. And I don't like when people say your truth. I don't like people say I'm gonna share my truth, because if I've convinced myself that a lie is a truth, then I'm sharing my truth.
Right.
It's a lie, but I'm sharing it as truth.
Absolutely.
To me. I care about the truth. And so the Dear Future Wifey podcast is set up just like that, to be able to say, listen, I start this podcast showing my own scars, and I'm sharing this with you is because what I'm opening up the door for you to be is totally transparent and vulnerable. When I start the podcast, the first year of the podcast, God told me, hey, share with the audience. I had 500 subscribers at the time. Share with the audience of your infidelity in your past marriage. That happened 5 years prior to me starting this podcast. And I'm like, why would you want me to do that? Yeah. When I started sharing about my infidelity in this episode I did with Joey Greco, who was the former host of the show Cheaters.
Okay.
And he's a good buddy of mine. And I had him come on the podcast, and I shared that, and I sent the episode to my ex-wife before it's released, which is something I'm gonna do with you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Whatever is shared on this episode, because I care about the value of marriage, I'm going to allow you, something I never do. I'm going to give you the footage. I'm going to send you a link for Ashley to watch it so that she can be prepared with whatever is shared in this, that when it drops in 3 days, she can be prepared for it. I don't like for spouses to be blindsided on anything.
That's awesome.
I'll say all that to say, I want you to operate in truth and transparency and vulnerability and honesty on today's episode. Can I get your buy-in on that?
I got it. Let's do it.
All right. So that's what it is. So off the top, the biggest thing happened when you began to share that you had a child. You said a child in the after y'all got out of the pods, after y'all got back from the honeymoon, as you say, wasn't even a honeymoon, but the trips that y'all went to, and y'all came back and you shared that. Hindsight being 2020, do you think you should have shared that while y'all were in the pods?
So here's the thing why I didn't share it in the pods. And I can't ever go back and, I always think like, should I have done something differently? I can't regret the decisions I made. I will stick on that. But I honestly tried to protect that family. They didn't sign up for the show. At no point could I talk about that.
Of course.
And I get getting engaged is a huge step. And I try to put myself in a room.
That family. Tyler, your family. Also, in addition to that, the way he's trying to frame it, like, I had to protect that family. I couldn't just talk about it. If you knew you were going on a reality show and you knew that your plan was that you wanted to be upfront and honest, first off, let's be so for real. If you had this situation and you really wanted to protect your family and you didn't want it to the risk of it coming out on TV and them being in the spotlight, you wouldn't have came on the show in the first place, because these are your kids and your kids should have came over anything, over being on a reality TV show. There are other ways to meet people. There are other ways to fall in love. You don't have to go on Love is Blind. But second of all, you could have discussed this with Bri. You could have discussed with Bri before you left, hey, how are we going to approach this? How can I talk about it? What's the deal with that? And if there was no way to come to a consensus, maybe that should have meant then you shouldn't have been on TV. If you really wanted to protect that family, AKA your family and your kids, maybe you should have thought about that. Why did you have to go on a reality show, a national TV show, if it was such a big deal to protect them?
Real world, because there's a lot of real world dating that was going on in the pods. If I was to date someone for a month, 2 months, I don't tell them everything right away.
Right.
So I was being upfront and I was trying to find a there was never going to be a right time to tell Ashley. And looking back, sure, absolutely. I can't.
Even him saying you don't tell everyone everything right away. That's like if you're talking about like how much money you make from your career or something. Maybe you reveal that 4 or 5 months, 6 months into when you're dating. Not that you have children. And not just one child, 3 children. That's not something that you reveal later. Like, come on.
Sit here and say that I wouldn't. I just can't change it. But I definitely should have mentioned that. And I've said it on the reunion. It wasn't showed. Omission is not okay. I omitted to Ashley, and I admitted to that. That's something that I'll stand on, that I was wrong for. So I do wish that, in my mind, if I could go back, I do wish that I could have told her.
Why?
Just to get her a feel, so it doesn't feel like I swindle her into a relationship. You know, when me and Ashley have conversations, again, private conversations, I sometimes get the feeling, not that she does feel this way, but that her decision might have been different. You know, you don't know.
There it is. There it is. And honestly, that alone, scary behavior. Scary behavior. That this man just admitted right here, right now, that he purposefully did not tell Ashley about the kids because he knew that her decision would be different. And now he's admitting that he said it himself right here, right now. He doesn't actually regret his decision. He said, "Hey, I don't regret it. I don't take it back." Because he knows that he bamboozled her, or in his words, swindled her into a relationship, and he has her now. So he doesn't take it back. He doesn't. He just straight up said, "Yeah, I did what I did, and I knew I had to, but I got my wifey now." Lord.
We are married and love each other now,
Yeah.
but who knows what have happened. And if you're walking by faith, whether I told her or not, if that's my person, she would have still been my person.
Facts. That's what I totally believe in. I believe in total transparency. And so, because that is an interesting thing that you bring up, is that legally, if I donated sperm, and it's such a tricky situation,
Yeah.
because if I donated sperm and people adopt kids all the time, and it's just so many, try not to unpack it all because it can be very tricky.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is that I adopted a child before.
Okay.
I adopted my child. Yeah, I adopted my nephew, and then I adopted a total stranger, my son Armani. But in it, they asked, "Do you want this to be a closed adoption?" As a closed adoption, the parents don't know. I can change his name. I can do all this stuff, and they can. The records are sealed, and they have no knowledge of who adopted their child. Closed adoption. I went for an open adoption because I believe in everything being open or whatnot. So with that being said, if the child was younger and I decided to do a closed adoption and never let my child know until I feel like it's the right time to tell my child he or she was adopted, I, as the parent, have the right to do that.
Yeah.
Which now removes the right from you to get on the show and say, "Hey, yeah, I donated sperm and this is what it was," or whatever. And then your fiance begins to ask questions, and then you got to shuck and jive about how you answer it because all of this has been recorded.
Right.
So you don't know what the TV is going to, it becomes very tricky
Very
in that
sticky,
scenario. Yeah, because it's like, she could be like, "I didn't ask you to go in there and share no stuff like that."
Yeah.
Like, what are you, like, it can get real crazy. So when I ask these questions, when I say, should you have done that, hindsight being 2020, I'm asking it based upon with the knowledge that you have, with all parties being included, because you know whether or not she would have been upset with you sharing it, what y'all's relationship was at that time, and how people that know how y'all were connected to each other, where they say, "Oh, well, I already knew that he was the donor," or whatever. I don't know all that.
Yeah.
But you're saying hindsight been 2020, you should have said, "Yes,
This is
I
all
was a
laid
donor."
up front because Ashley has nothing. She comes with no baggage. She was up front. She went in and was very vulnerable. Me saying, trying to protect, I feel like when I say it, I'm trying to protect the family. It's a cop-out. In my mind, I feel like.
What do you mean we say protect the family?
Because they didn't sign up for it. So I didn't want anyone go exactly what they're doing, digging, searching. These kids' birth certificates are on social medias, websites. It went from being about the kids, what everyone said it was, to let's tear Tyler down, but these kids have been pushed to the back burner.
These kids, that family, and also Tyler, give me a break, dude. You went onto a national, not just national, a global TV show, probably the biggest show on Netflix outside of Squid Game. I don't know, but it has to be up there. And you decided to call the kids sperm babies. Nobody would have dug anything up if it wasn't for you. Do I personally think that documents should be on the internet? No. And as you guys have seen, I don't show documents on here. I don't do that on my platform. I feel weird about it. But at the end of the day, nobody would have came out and told a story or put you on the spot or anything of that nature if you didn't lie. And on top of that, you have to be like, let's be for real. People don't like to feel like they're being deceived. At the end of the day, parasocial relationships are crazy and all over the place. And like, we can talk about that. But at the end of the day, nobody likes to feel like they're being deceived. If you're watching a TV show, nobody likes to feel like, oh my goodness, I'm watching a show about marriage where people are supposed to be coming on this show authentically ready for marriage. And then you find out that they're hiding all this baggage. Naturally, that is going to make people want to figure out the truth and get the whole truth and be addicted to the truth because nobody likes to feel like they are being deceived. So I just feel like this whole, it was supposed to be about the kids and now they're tearing me down. First off, you're the victim, I guess. But second of all, it's like, no one's tearing you down, Tyler. People are trying to figure out why you came on our TVs and tried to deceive us all. And you just admitted that you deceived Ashley, who, hey, she forgave you. Cool. Congratulations. But like, people don't like feeling deceived.
As you're smearing me, you're forgetting to protect these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And people.
It's not our responsibility to protect your kids. And that's even the thing I said at the beginning of this podcast. Y'all are coming at content creators. Everybody's trying to put the blame on the wrong crowd. When in reality, Tyler, it's your responsibility as the father of those children, as one of their biological parents. You are responsible for protecting them. Your decisions, your choices, your lies are what put your children out there. Bride didn't go on this show. Her ex-wife didn't go on this show. You and Ashley are the two that went on this show, and particularly you are the one that went on this show. So stop misplacing blame and putting the responsibility on the general public, on commentary channels, on the general public to protect your children. When the responsibility is on you to protect your children, sir.
Or missing that part. Like, again, I'm okay with taking the heat for the omission part, for certain parts that I played in people's lives. I'll never be perfect. Trying to be a perfect person, husband, it'll never be. But I do just wish I told Ashley up front and let her make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
She's, for the most part, I'm going to speak for her. She's happy. I'm not holding her down. I don't have her handcuffed. She's a very strong, intelligent woman who makes great decisions her entire life.
And so when you look back at the moment where she asked you, have you seen the kids before? Why did you answer that question like that? And you said, maybe, I know. See, they asked you.
So it was like I don't know. It was like a look around. I don't know. So that was me trying to avoid. And then as I said it to avoid, I realized we were filming. So that night, as soon as camera stopped, I was like, okay.
So again, you're admitting you lied flat out. I love how this man, like, it's going to get worse because I've already watched part of this or whatever. It's going to get worse. But I love how now, like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm admitting that I'm a liar, but it's cool because I'm being honest. It's like, we really need to talk about the fact that he has lied over and over, even to Ashley, to protect himself. And okay, whatever, Ashley wants to take it, but it's like, just that alone, that admission that this man deceived Ashley into essentially marrying and staying with him is crazy work. Is crazy, wicked work. But anywho,
we had conversations off camera. And I'm like, look, I don't want to talk about this. I had mentioned multiple times to Ashley, I don't want to talk about this on camera. And she was like, we have to. Like, I
also notice how he always throws the blame on this coming out on camera on Ashley. It's never, oh, it's my fault that I went on a show and lied, and thus, my wife wanted to set the record straight. And I'm not saying, should it have been brought up? I don't even know. But like, he always throws the blame on her. In one sentence, he's praising her, calling her the most intelligent. In another sentence, the blame is on her. Essentially saying the reason why this is even out here is because of her. The reason why this is even out here is because of her. And again, Ashley's dumb bird brain doesn't see that. And yeah, I'm going to call her a dumb bird brain because come on, girl. Like, how can you not see the way this man is? 20 minutes into this interview, he's already admitted that he lied and swindled you into a relationship. And now he's putting all the blame on you for this coming out into the open. Just, I don't know.
Feel a certain type of way now. I can't interact. We have been so loving. Up until that point, people loved us because the way we loved each other. That was coming to a halt because I came out and told her on my own the night prior. So then that came up and I'm like, I'm trying to avoid this on camera. I really was. When she asked, it was like a quick avoidance, escape. How can I get away from this? And I was like, I don't know. Told Ashley, the picture showed her, yes, they know what I look like. The involvement, we went through the steps of talking. We still talk. We still have very uncomfortable conversations to this day. So it was a cop out is what it was.
Good. Glad you own that. Because for you to question whether or not your child, well, let me ask you this, because I want to make sure I respect how I'm wording stuff. Do you consider those, well, we're going to talk about the one that was the donor situation, and I'm saying one is, I'm gonna have you answer the twins, but do you look at them as your child?
That's tough. I'll be honest. So that is a tough question, and I say it because I haven't been actively involved. I know that's what's running around on the internet, but I haven't. I was around the son a lot more, only because we were living.
The son, not I was around my son, but the son. Also, I find it very strange how he feels like being like, oh, I wasn't involved. I wasn't an involved parent makes the situation better. Like he says it for both the son and the twins. They go over both individually. And especially for the twins, I find it bizarre how his excuse is, I wasn't an involved father. Bri had a wife, Bri this, Bri that. And we're going to get into that later when that part comes up. But it's like, do you think this makes you sound good, Tyler? Because Ashley already tried this and it didn't work. But for some reason, you all still think that this is going to make you sound good. Like y'all two rehearse this and it still is the same terrible story.
Been in the same building. He was around. There was a lot going on. As the twins were born, no, I wasn't around them for almost 4 years. So you'll see her mom post videos and it's saying, who is that? Who's that? She's trying to convince them who I am because they didn't know who I was. So I haven't.
The twins.
Pause. Come on, Tyler. Everybody knows that with kids, it's very common to be like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Especially with like little kids, you walk into the room. Who's that? Oh my God, who's that? Oh, it's your auntie, it's your daddy. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Please be so for real, Tyler. The fact that he is trying to sit here and say that the mom being like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Is because she was trying to convince them of who he was, rather than that just being a typical thing that moms or anybody says to a young child, is again, wicked and crazy work. Wicked, crazy work. Are you kidding me? Wow.
Yeah, yep. So
the twins are girls.
Yes, twin girls. Yep. And she's trying to convince the kids that, who I am because I wasn't around. And it's a very sticky situation because I don't feel like a father. And I've told this to Bri herself that I don't feel like a father. What I feel like is a glorified babysitter that you need money from. These kids have been raised the past 4 or 5 years with another woman. She's engaged. So they have been raised in a 2-woman household, which I initially was signing up for. So I had to be okay with that if I did step back.
Right.
And it's not an easy situation to step out of. Like, I do feel for the kids. But the more clarity I get, I'm just a people pleaser, extreme people pleaser. So
He says this a lot in this interview, by the way, y'all. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a people pleaser. I was just a people pleaser. This whole situation happened because I was just a people pleaser.
Bri has a way of being convincing where she's like, she'll go through an argument with her fiance or whoever she's dating at the time. She's wrapped in a relationship. And she's like, hey, can you come back around? Can you be around? And I think I'm making bad decisions. Like maybe I should be in their lives. And I'm not putting it on her because I'm still a grown man making.
So just to let y'all know, this is the angle he takes in this interview, that whenever Bri would get upset with a fiance or a girlfriend and they would break up, that's when she would try to call Tyler to be in the picture. Okay. And remember, Bri said that Tyler, whenever he would get a new girlfriend, he would kind of go away and not be a part of the kids' lives. So now, interestingly, according to Tyler, the story is actually that Bri would do that. That it's kind of the opposite, right? That Bri would push him out as soon as she got a girlfriend. And he's really going to go hard on this, like, Bri wanted the kids to be raised by two women. There's no possible way that Bri, this lesbian who definitely wanted the kids to be raised in a two-woman household, could want me, a man, in their life, because I was a man and I'm not a woman, and Bri wanted the kids to be raised by a woman. There's no way that she wanted me in the picture. He's gonna take this angle, and it's wicked. This is wicked.
Decisions on my own.
Absolutely.
But the touch and go of he's been active this entire time, it's not true. The pictures you do see, they are very intimate. Holidays, birthdays. I don't even looking at the pictures, I don't feel like a father.
So answer this. There's a picture where you had dad on your shirt. Why would you wear a shirt like that if you wasn't going to play the role of father?
So I initially stepped up to play that role as father.
At what stage?
Right before the twins before the twins were born. I had
stuttering. Keep an eye on the stuttering, and keep an eye. Remember this part where he says he stepped up right before the twins were born to be a part of the kids' lives. Supposedly, that's his timeline, that he stepped up right before the twins were born. Keep that in mind, okay?
Already agreed to step in. I would be a part of it. Another misconception is that I named the twins. Bri was dating a girl who named those twins.
Okay.
So a girl has always played a major part in these kids' lives. They gave one of the twins my middle name, but that was her and the girl she was dating. She named those kids.
So you had no say. So let's go all the way back.
Yeah.
We don't got to the other twins. I want to go right from the very beginning. How did this donor situation take place with the first child?
Yeah. So me and Bri were close friends, extremely close friends, hung out almost every other day, if not. She hung with all the guys. She's one of the homies, to be honest. Like, she is super cool, and I'll never take that from her. Her and her wife were trying to start a family. Her wife has a daughter, but they wanted to have a kid together. They went to the sperm donor bank. They charge per, I don't know if you know this, I found out with them, they charge for every, sounds like a 2K game, but for every attribute. So if you want to be with, yeah, that's what I was thinking about, because it's like an attribute. So if you want to be with, if you want your sperm donor to be black, if you want them to be 6 foot, if you want them to be educated, you have to pay per. You can go in there and just say, I want black or white, and that'll be bottom line. But if you want to, add some things on, you have to pay for those things. And they couldn't afford it. So I was like, look, I'll help y'all out. They had some home kit where it's like a cup. You do your business in a cup. You give it to them. They do what they want with it. They had their family. The wife did leave right before or right after the son was born.
Hold on, let's go back. What year is this?
This was 20. I'll have to double check the facts, and I don't want to sit here and say, I think I want to say 2017, 2018.
Pause. Again, there's going to be a pattern here where he cannot seemingly remember any of the timelines. And it's one thing to forget one little thing, but for you to not even be able to remember what year your child was born in, you can't remember when you donated sperm to conceive a child. You don't remember the year off the top of your head. It's really hard when you're lying, because when you're lying, you really got to keep the lies up. And I just,
So 2017, 2018, and you decided.
Like, it's a difference of a whole year. Sorry, a difference of an entire year. This man can't remember if it's 2017 or 2018. Like, what? I don't know.
To donate your sperm in order for your friend and her wife to have a kid. And that would be your first kid ever.
Yes.
And what did the people around you, did you consult your mom? Did you ask your friends and be like, what do you think about this?
Yeah, my mom was like, not a good idea. Maybe not a good idea. But again, me and my mom had that relationship that I've made a lot of great decisions in my life. So if I'm making one, she trusts that I'm making good decisions. Friends were like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, like I don't see it an issue because I feel like I've lived 30 lives. And at that time, I think I was 26, 27. I thought that was old. Like I wasn't married. I didn't have a house. I think my life wasn't going as planned. And I didn't have kids. All my friends and family have kids. And I was like, why not help someone? I'm never going to have a family. I'm never going to have kids.
Let's pause there. That doesn't make sense. He says at 26, 27, everyone in his life had kids. All his friends and family had kids. And he didn't have kids. So he thought, why not help someone? Notice again, the lies always slip out. I don't have kids, so I thought, why don't I help someone? I think the real statement is, I realized I don't have kids, so hey, I'll just have a kid with her, and that's my kid. But okay, I don't have kids, so why not help someone? Okay, let's just keep it in mind.
What's it hurt to help someone else have a family? So when I stepped up, I'm like, sure, it's not a problem for me. I didn't think twice.
That's interesting. That's a big commitment.
Bro, no, not him saying that's interesting. I mean, fair. Like, cause what? Like, I just don't. Oh my God.
And so, but of course, you're 27 years old. So that's why I like putting stuff in context, because sometimes you may look at somebody at 34 or 45 and you're talking to them in the knowledge that they have currently, not realizing. If you asked me some questions when I was 18, that was a different Lateras, and so here you are 27, 28-ish, making this decision. You donate sperm. What was the agreement during that time? I'm going to donate and disappear.
No, so we were still friends and they were stationed in the area. It was, you donate, if you're around, you'll be Uncle Ty. You'll be uncle around. And I didn't see an issue. So they had a daughter that came from her wife on her side. And I was around her all the time. If you see me around kids, I love kids. So I was like, oh, that's not an issue. Why not? I'll be the uncle.
Do you realize, I think I saw a video with someone talking about, I think it was Deshauna was saying that her original desire was, if it was going to be a donor situation, it had to be somebody that they didn't know. Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. I was friends with all of them. We hung out every day. So I don't know why that would even be a thing, because we were all cool. I was hanging around her daughter. Why would I then donate sperm and then we just don't become friends anymore?
Or she's saying don't use Tyler, period. Just go find Joe Schmo. Get a total stranger and do it.
She's the one who said thank you. They thanked me multiple times.
So notice, she's the one that said thank you. Then it changed to they thanked me. And honestly, okay. Again, Tyler, is that supposed to prove something to us? Like, sure, maybe she didn't like it in the beginning, but then she's still grateful at the time that she had a child with her wife, with her wife at the time. So sure, she said thank you. Is that supposed to prove that what she said is incorrect? Like,
I got receipts.
Well, if you got, I want to see some thank yous, because I want to start seeing some text messages and stuff. So y'all were cool.
Yes.
So when the child was born, were you a part of their lives? And when you say part, y'all are friends, but how active were y'all? Were y'all just cool, but y'all see each other every so often? Or now that she's pregnant, you're like a regular person in their life? You're seeing her, every other week or every other day, or talking to her daily. What was that relationship like?
No, so it wasn't like I went along with the pregnancy. None of the pregnancies did I ever go process day in, day out with. And no, we all lived in the same building. So I lived down on the first floor. Her and her wife lived on the third floor. So we would hang out. We would do game nights. All friends would come over. It was still a friendship. Once I helped them and Bride did become pregnant, the relationship didn't change at all. I still was just hanging around them as if they were my friends. I would talk to them once a week. What are y'all doing Saturday? were going to come over. So we would drink, not her because she was pregnant, but she would drink, her wife would, and we would hang out just to be in company.
Were you in a relationship at that time?
No, I wasn't.
So when were you allegedly engaged with another woman at that time?
That was the end of 2016.
And so in 2016, was the child, she was still pregnant with the child, right?
No. She wasn't pregnant or didn't have the kid until September. I don't remember. It's September, but I'm trying to think if it was 2018 or 2017. It was around that time.
So the narrative that's going out where you took your...
So let's keep up with the lies. A few minutes ago, when I paused, he said she got pregnant in 2017 or 2018. Now he's not sure if she had the child in 2017 or 2018. Like, make it make sense, Tyler. When did she have this kid? Like, I find it extremely insane to believe that you don't know what year your child was even born in. Your biological child. Come on, Tyler. I mean, obviously he's lying, but come on. Come on.
Your then fiance to a baby shower. What are they referring to?
No, she wasn't at a baby shower. Me and Ashley talked about this. I've never went to a baby shower with her. And that situation, which is extremely wild, she's the one who cheated. I have the receipts for those as well. She's the one who cheated. And then we stopped living there. Me and my ex-fiance was living together. I caught her texting her ex, is what it was, which a lot of people don't know. And there are receipts for that. And there's a lot of deep, dark secrets that people are trying to spill about me where I'm like, they're not true, but I have a lot on you and your family. So
stop. First off, coincidentally and conveniently, because remember that story came out where he had brought his ex to a baby shower for the son and did not reveal that he was actually the donor for the son, which we don't know a lot around that story. And the ex-fiance has never come out, I don't think. So, yeah. But coincidentally, it's not that he had did something wrong. It's that she did something wrong. She magically and conveniently actually cheated on him. And again, he claims he has all these receipts in this video. Doesn't show any. And I'm not saying he has to, but it's like, you claim you have all these receipts. And then on top of that, he throws in a jab about how he has these deep, dark secrets about her family. Again, I hate when people come on this moral high horse and they pretend like they are so much more moral and they're such a bigger person than someone else. Wow, Tyler, you're so cool that you didn't say anything. And now all of a sudden you want to throw out these vague statements that, oh, I have secrets on your family that I never even spoke about. What does her family have to do with it? What does deep, dark secrets about her family have anything to do with this? Nasty people. Him and Ashley, nasty, nasty humans underneath the guise of Jesus. And that's annoying.
Like I said, I didn't come here to trash anyone, but I will keep that person's name out of it completely just because,
of course, and you should.
She hasn't come public and said her name, but I know she's been sending little subliminals. But I've never cheated on her. So
her saying that you came, so which baby shower are they talking about? Allegedly. Are they talking about the first child?
Yes.
And they saying that you were engaged, you took your fiance to this baby shower, not letting your fiance know that you were in fact the donor of said child.
No.
They just made this whole story up.
When we were done, the thing is, what's being ran around is that I did that, she found out, and she left me.
Right.
No, that's not what happened. We were done.
Notice how he evades the question. Lateris asks him a very direct question. The story is, you went to a baby shower. She found out that you were the donor for this person, that you may have cheated in order to conceive the child. Because remember, it's very fishy how indeed this first son was conceived. And instead of answering the question, hey, so what happened there then? What is this baby shower? Where is this story coming from? Like, instead of answering the question, oh, what's being ran around is this is what happened. And we were, but actually we were already done. Tyler, answer the question. Like, I don't know. And I like how, I like Lateris in this interview. I don't really watch his show, but I like him in this interview because I do like how he's holding Tyler accountable, because I think he can also tell that Tyler's not fully telling the truth. He's doing the same thing that he claimed that he did on the show when Ashley asked him directly, do you know what do the kids know what you look like? And he's like, he's doing the same thing right here, right now. He is lying. Like, he can't remember his words. He's stuttering all over the place. Like, come on, dude. Come on.
I gave her the common courtesy of like, hey, when it was time after Bride's wife left, me and Bride talked like, hey, I'll step into his life and do all these things. Me and my ex-fiance were already done and broken up. I gave her the courtesy. I still have that receipt as well. Hey, this is what happened. I'm just letting you know. How dare you? You're dead to me. All these things. We were already not living together. We were already on bad terms because she had cheated. We weren't together. She had cheated. She was still trying to get me back. But I stepped back. I was hands off. Like, I'm good. I don't want to be with you anymore. I said I would try, but in your 20s, someone cheats on you, your whole world's over.
Oh,
and I don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
Like, we were living together. And again, people can deny it. I have them.
Well, I'm gonna ask you to show it to me a little bit. The question is simple as this: did she go to the baby shower?
No.
So they just made this whole story up that this woman came to a baby shower. They just put this lady here, and that never ever happened.
I honestly don't recall her ever going to a baby shower. I'm being completely honest.
Now he says he doesn't recall her going to a baby shower. He doesn't recall. What does that even mean, Tyler? The fact that the man can't even say a direct yes or a direct no or where this is coming from. Oh, I can't recall it. Come on, bro.
Honest, I do not recall her going to a baby
Tyler,
shower.
they post a picture of your ex-fiance at a baby shower with you. Like, boy, you got
to show me.
Yeah, something.
You have to show me, because I'm telling you that the timing of it didn't line up or add up. Like I said, we were already on outs.
Well, let me ask you this then. Were you engaged with this woman at the same time she was pregnant with the first child?
It was the end of our engagement. Yes. Yes.
All right.
I'll give you just a yes.
So did your fiance know that you had donated sperm to Bri during that time?
No.
Okay. So you didn't tell her that either. Why not?
We were already on our way out. So
you got 9 months of pregnancy.
No, so that's what I'm saying. It was the time after I found out she cheated. So once she cheated, it was already, so we hadn't officially ended. We were still seeing each other, but we weren't living together.
So again, he just admitted that he had donated sperm to Bri. Bri was pregnant during the time, and she was to the point where she was having her baby shower. And most people have their baby shower towards the middle or end of their pregnancy. So he's essentially saying once again that he was engaged, claiming that they were on the outs, but they were still seeing each other, but they weren't living together. And he once again admits, I did not tell her that I donated sperm. So again, when the ex-fiance says I was cheated on, and there was a lot of murky waters behind the way the first son was conceived, not even Deshawn, Bri's ex-wife, knows. Only Tyler and Bri really know the truth of how that first child was conceived. Once again, he admitted that he lied to a partner. I just feel like we need to be paying really close attention to this, because this man admits how much he lies. And the thing is, Lateris is very good at asking questions, because Tyler doesn't realize that he's telling on himself right now. He really does not. But Lateris, I feel like he does know what he's doing here, where he's like, so wait, make it make sense. And it's like, again, now Tyler is pretty much sitting here admitting that, yes, I did lie and most likely cheated on my ex-fiance, but coincidentally, she was cheating on him, and they were on the outs, and they were still seeing each other, but they weren't living together. Okay, Tyler.
That's the thing. So we were done. She hadn't given a ring back.
But when did y'all get engaged? I'm talking about during what time donation happened in relationship to the donation and the girlfriend relationship with your fiance. Wouldn't that happen around the same time?
3-month difference span. So after I found out she cheated, it was about 2 to 3 months after that where I was like, I'll help you.
No, take the cheating out. Take from, this is a woman in my life. I'm dating this woman right here.
Yeah.
I'm donating some sperm to this other lady. when does this lady, at what stage did this happen? I donate, I'll give you months. I started dating this woman in January 2016. My homegirl, I say, let me go ahead and help you. I'm going to donate some sperm to you in March of 2016. The same month, 3 months later, 4 months later, I end up breaking up with her. Was she in your life while you were before? What stage was it when you donated the sperm while this woman is in your life?
At the end of after our relationship.
So after your relationship was over, then you donated sperm.
Yeah.
Boom. Another lie caught. So remember, just a few minutes ago, he said that Bri was pregnant at the end of their engagement. Now it's, oh, I donated the sperm at the end of our relationship. So which one is it, Tyler? You don't donate sperm and instantly get pregnant. So which one is it? Was Bri already pregnant at the end of the engagement? Or was he donating sperm at the end of the engagement? Again, lie after lie after lie. And mind you, this isn't even me extrapolating anything from anything. This is me just sitting here listening to this interview and just literally verbatim repeating what he said around 3-4 minutes ago. With every single question, he's giving a different answer. And this is what happens when you're lying. Every single answer is different because the truth is not coming out.
Okay, so the question was, so that's what you're saying is that this relationship was already over and now
I'm helping someone else. Yes, because that's where I'm at the point where
you say
I'll never find love. Yes, I'll never be with anyone.
Now that makes sense. I'm never going to find anybody. This woman done cheated on me. Now that makes sense. I can resonate with that. I'm never going to find anybody. This woman I was engaged to, she cheated on me. Boom, forget it. Oh, I can be a help of service to somebody else?
Why not?
Let me go ahead and help.
Yeah.
You. Okay, that makes sense. Tyler? No, I understand. You got a very
sticky situation.
Yeah, your life is, boy, Jesus. So because you be making, because you got some decisions, because you be making life decisions, and it's just.
And that's the thing is, which I realized, I never had any proper guidance.
I see.
So the decisions I'm making, I've always based it on, I'm successful. I can do this. Standing back, like, no, I couldn't have done this. Maybe I should have had a mentor. Maybe I had some.
I hate when people fall into this thing, especially when men fall into this. I didn't have a father, so that's why I'm this, I'm that. You had a mother. You had a mother. You had a parent. And mind you, in this whole interview, he is dragging his mom, talking about she didn't give him love. She didn't guide him clearly. I don't know. If I'm Tyler's mama, it's like, what are we doing right now? But stop making excuses, Stop making excuses. You are a 35-year-old man. You did this when you were 28, 27, and you're grown at that point. So stop making excuses for things that happen in your childhood. All of us have rough childhoods and have bad influences in our lives and things like that. But it's your responsibility as an adult to grow from that and to do better from that. So it's like you're saying that you made the life decision to go have a child or to donate sperm or whatever the case it was, not thinking through anything because you didn't have guidance. Come on. I mean, hey, good recognition, but like, what are you going to do to be better? Because also, this is somebody who talks about how his father was not in his life. His father wasn't there. And you are the exact same person. You have 3 kids on this earth that all you do is make excuses for and drag their mother and make their mother look bad and try to shame her for being a lesbian and wanting to raise kids with a woman, and because of that, how she could never want a man in her life and in the kid's life, and use that as an excuse and a point to frame why you were a deadbeat father. And it's like, come on, you're being exactly what you claim you had in your life growing up. People continue cycles until you make better choices and have realizations.
Want to talk to, but I didn't have anyone around me at the time to talk me through any of this.
And you're 27 years old, your frontal lobe just got developed last year.
That's what I'm saying. Men don't fully mature until what? They say 33, 34, something like that.
But the frontal lobe isn't developed oftentimes to about 25, 26.
Yeah.
And the frontal lobe is a part of your brain where the logic side of your brain.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. So here it is. So now this child is born. The agreed the agreement was you're just uncle.
Correct.
And did y'all go as deep to say that as uncle, this child will never know that you're the donor?
Correct. Yep.
For life.
Yes.
This kid would
we didn't go through the entire for life. It was like, I'll be the uncle. They were married. So I didn't expect them to ever get divorced.
People know two women can't have a kid together. So
that's,
the kid got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm saying.
So which I'm still comfortable to this day, if they ever get to of age where they want to know who I am and have a relationship with me.
They just go look on the internet and they'll find
That's exactly what it is. Now it is, yeah.
So,
you don't have to go far.
So the reality is, what was it agreed upon? See, I like to go back to what I always say, are all hearts and minds clear? Now, it seems the more we talk, the more that certainly these conversations may not have been had to the extent that it needed to be had.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. And so the
proper
reality,
paperwork.
Exactly. So what did y'all have? So you take me back there. What was y'all agreement?
We sit down, talk. It's me, her, and her wife, Brian, her wife, and it was just uncle. You'll donate sperm if you want to be around. You can, but you'll be uncle. And it wasn't like I was around them every day. That's the thing. I did hang out with Brian a lot, but them as a couple, it's a couple. You know, and my friends don't hang with my wife every day. It wouldn't be a thing. So when I am around, I would just.
Okay, but in the beginning of this, you said, Tyler, that y'all were really close. You would go to game nights with them. You would be drinking with her wife as Bri was pregnant. You guys would all hang out together and see each other regularly and frequently. So which one is it? Were you seeing them regularly and frequently? Or now all of a sudden they're a couple? I don't hang out with a couple every day. Which one is it? Again, I'm just here to be like, here's the one thing and here's the other thing, and they're not matching up. So that's just my questions.
Be that fun uncle. That was the agreement. It didn't go in depth. We didn't have the proper paperwork, and those are all immature mistakes on my end.
No paperwork, and it was cool, done, signed, sealed, delivered. Whose name is on that birth certificate?
Her wife's.
So her wife's name is on the birth certificate.
Yes.
So you uncle, the child is born. Are you there when the child is born?
No.
All right. So you're not there. When did you see this kid for the first time?
I think the next day or 2 days later, me and my friend, we went down to the hospital because we all were friends with her.
Right.
To go congratulate her. So we went down there. Her and her wife were down to the hospital and went down there, said hi, congrats. That was it.
How did you feel?
I was happy for them. I could see the excitement on their face. So I was happy that I was able to help someone.
So you felt no emotional connection that that's my child?
No. And that's the thing. Like I'm such a people pleaser. To see other people be happy, it makes me happy. So I was seeing the glow. Like they were just ecstatic to have this family. Her wife, her daughter, they were all in the room. And I'm just like, I'm happy for y'all. Really happy.
So this is your first child. And this is, and that's what, from an expert standpoint, you are supposed to be able to just have no connection because that would make it really weird.
And I feel like we need to touch on that because he basically admitted, like, look, I had no connection with these kids whatsoever. This is my first child ever. He went on this whole thing about how at the age of 26 or 27, he was so upset and sad because he didn't have kids and everyone else in his life had kids. And, he felt like the odd one out and he was getting even depressed that he was never going to have a kid. So he wanted to help out his friend. You would think that somebody that felt this way and the guise of him donating the sperm was because he felt so upset he didn't have a kid, that once he had that kid, that would fulfill something. Even if he's just in the kid's life as an uncle or whatever, you would think that, oh, wow, like that connection would be there instantly since you had such a yearning to have a kid that you didn't have at the time. In addition to that, also very bizarre sentiment. Plenty of people who are surrogate moms, plenty of people who put their children up for adoption, things as such, they still have feelings and feelings of grief and feelings of wanting to be closer to their kid. And when a mother doesn't feel a connection with her kid immediately, everyone's saying, oh, postpartum, go to therapy, get some help for that, whatever the case may be. So just saying in this situation, we need to realize the gravity and the levity of the fact that this man says, yeah, that's my full biological child that I had zero feeling for, zero connection for. I don't feel anything for it. I saw it popped out of the hospital, and there was nothing. I feel nothing. What kind of trauma? What kind of inner demons? What kind of, I don't know, like, what is causing you to not be able to connect with your own child? Because that's crazy. Donor situation or not, that's still a crazy situation.
If you were like, this is my kid, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
They were like, bro, if you don't calm down, that could be a problem. But I want to know from the internal standpoint, you're saying that when you saw this child, this is your first child, you had no emotional connection where you were like, because I keep hearing you saying, I'm happy they have a child. You didn't look and be like, man, my child is, man, my son, that's my son there, boy.
No.
Zero.
No. I know when I had, because I wasn't along for that process as well. So I tell Ashley, when I have a kid, I want to be there. I want to take pictures. I want to do the stomach pictures. I want to be.
Notice how he said, when I have kids. I mean, this man literally has written these kids off like they are nothing. When I have kids. You have 3 kids. You have 3 children. What do you mean when you have kids?
One before the kid's even born.
Right.
I wasn't there for any of that. It's a kid, you have your family. This is your family.
And so no emotional connection. When did the relationship with Bri and her wife go awry? Bri and Deshauna, when did that go awry?
So I don't know the exact date on that, but shortly after, from my understanding, at first, her wife up and left and just went to California to go be with a guy. After talking to Bri, and this is the other thing. Character assassination against me. And it sucks that it's coming from a person that you've always protected.
Right.
Bri was physically assaulting her wife, and her wife had moved to leave. And
pause. First and foremost, yes, that physical assault was touched on in the video with Deshaun, and that is a horrible, awful, terrible situation. Terrible, terrible, terrible situation. No one should have had to ever go through that. And by no means am I excusing or think Bri is right for that. I think obviously the tough thing is Deshaun came out with her story and then it kind of just faded away. Bri didn't give a response, but in either case, I believe people when they say they've had that experience. And I just want to say that is a terrible experience. To go back to what Tyler was saying, Tyler just said that Deshaun left to be with a guy. And notice again, Tyler hones in a lot on them being lesbians, but secretly they want men or whatever. Like, he really hones in on this. He says in one sentence, Deshaun left to be with a guy. Then in the next sentence says Deshaun left because Bree was assaulting her. So which one is it, Tyler? Did she leave to be with a guy, or did she leave because she was being assaulted? Because that's 2 totally different situations. So which one is it? I don't know. Like,
which is what Deshauna said in the video.
And when she left, that's the other part where Deshaun just got a little salty. She wanted full custody of the son that she didn't birth. So she went and filed to take full custody to bring the kid to California. The only way that could have got negated, Superman here again.
Ugh, Superman here again. Like, shut the hell up, please. But like, first off, Tyler, how nasty. The kid that she didn't birth. But okay, Tyler, you've been on this soapbox talking about how this was a donor situation. This is their kid, This isn't your kid. This is their kid. Now, all of a sudden, when Deshaun wanted to file for custody of what you claim is her and Bri's child, it's, the kid she didn't birth. And now me as Superman, I had to step in. Wicked. This man is so wicked. Wicked. Ooh, this man is wicked, y'all.
And I showed up and I was like, look, no, just do a DNA test, which they did to prove that he was biologically my kid. And then it stopped her wife from taking it. So that was me protecting first of all, I helped my friend. Now I'm protecting my friend.
And screwing yourself in the process.
Both times for her to come out and do all this to me.
And so you stepped up and said,
you're the victim, Tyler, for her to do all of this to me. Oh, you are the victim. Poor little Ting.
This is my child. And then what? So that would protect her wife from fighting her for custody? Does that automatically dissolve it where they say you have no right to try to get custody of them, or how's that work?
No, so I can't. Legally in Maryland, and I'll pull up the facts for that as well, but any couple that births into that marriage is presumed that those are the two custodial parents.
So you tried to help, but you couldn't help anyway.
Yeah, well, I did help because I was a sperm donor, and the wife just backed off. It was going to be a longer lawsuit, and everyone knows it costs money.
Yeah.
So it was who had the most money at a certain point, and she backed off. But again, that was me protecting Bri, so her kid, because her kid was born, or I'll just say Kai, his name's Kai. Kai was born at a time that she was extremely low. He saved her life. And I'm not like their family. I'm not going to go smear them and tell them what she was going to do or was going to do.
Right.
But she was at a very low place and he saved her. So
once again, I'm not like them. I'm not like them. I'm not going to spill the tea like them. But yet you throw out these vague statements knowing people are going to ask questions. It's just, I can't stand the moral high horse this man is on. It's crazy. Imagine being in all of this and thinking you are above all of these people when you are a whole ass deadbeat father. And y'all know, sorry about the cussing, but like you are a whole deadbeat father acting like you are better than everybody else. I'm not like them. Well, baby, at least Bride tries to take care of her children, unlike you, who has excuse after excuse after excuse. And the only thing you can ever fall on is, oh, she was a lesbian and she didn't want men in her life raising kids. She only wanted women in her life raising kids. What? Like, that's all you could fall on?
I couldn't stand back as a friend and watch the kid also be taken from her.
Right.
So I stepped in. I never fought for custody. And we'll speak about all of them. I've never fought for custody for any of them. So I know that's being ran around. There's no one that can get on the platform and say, I didn't fight for custody. I fought to not watch my friend's kid get taken from her.
So you fought for custody, Tyler. This is, again, another thing that he's doing that a lot of liars like to do. They like to kind of rephrase the same statement. You didn't fight for custody. You fought to not see your friend's kid get taken away. So you fought for custody then. You fought for custody. Because the only way you were gonna do that is by getting custody. These people swear that we're insulting their intelligence. They're insulting our intelligence. Like, for real.
To help her. So I've been helping this woman who is now, I feel like, in my personal experience, and I've said this to multiple friends, if you let me sleep on your couch, I owe you.
Yeah.
I helped you have a life and I helped you keep that life. There's no way in any right state of mind you should be on any platform talking bad about me. You couldn't have.
So now this woman is forever indebted to you. She can never say anything about the negative things you've done because you donated sperm to her. That's not how things work. Just because somebody does something for you, at the end of the day, if you're doing something and giving someone the short end of the stick, the way that you have given this woman the runaround and the short end of the stick, Tyler, then no, she doesn't have to sit here and kiss your feet every single day because you donated sperm to her. Get over yourself, dude. Get over yourself.
That family without me. I mean, sure, you could have went and found someone, but not those specific kids.
Right.
Like, that is so nasty. Do y'all realize how nasty that is for him to be like, you wouldn't have had those kids without me. You owe me everything. How dare you come on a platform and smear me? First off, Brad didn't even smear this man. All she did was come out and say they're not sperm babies because you put that out there. That's all this woman said, is that those kids are not sperm babies. No one smeared you, Tyler. Bri went on another podcast after the fact, on another podcast with Jesse Wu and Storytime with Ricky, because Ashley decided to go on a platform on Nick Vile's podcast and open her big mouth and lie for 2 hours on that podcast. So Bri just wanted to come back and say no. That's it. Should this be going back and forth on the internet like this? Again, and look, you guys can talk about the ethics and the morality of it, but the reality is the only time this woman has come out is when y'all two have come out with lies. So no, Tyler, no one smeared you. Oh, you poor little victim. How dare the mother of your children that you are a deadbeat father for speak out because you donated sperm to her. Ooh, Y'all hear that though?
So for that to be a smear campaign, for her to get out there and do them things, it's very hurtful.
And so she said that after the wife left, you called and said, "Hey, let me step up." When you were stepping up, what did that look like for you?
So she was struggling. Again, we were still friends with daycare and doing all these running around. She couldn't hang out as a friend. And I seen her going through it. She started getting back into a depressed state. And I said, look, I didn't sign up to give you a kid. I thought this kid was being raised with two parents. And again, today's society, it will be two women. It may be two men, but two parents, because I grew up with one parent. And I know that feeling. It's hard for one mom to just give you love and try to keep you afloat, everyone afloat. So I told her I'll step in, and she was like, well, let's talk about it. We talked about it, and it was me stepping in as a father figure, that I would be picking them up from daycare. I would do all these little things, and we lived in the same building, so it was easy to just step in and help. We were already friends. But the problem where, and this is very controversial, people are going to hate to hear it, I still didn't have that connection.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part, that people, they say like, oh, what do you mean to have a connection? In my heart, I was helping someone. So I had already detached from, and I wasn't around for all these steps. So
again, we have to talk about how wicked that is, how cold that is, that every single day you're picking up this child, you're doing fatherly duties, all of these different things, and you still are detached from this child. You still have no connection from this child, and nothing inside of you said, hey, you know what? Let me go to like a therapist and figure out why I can't connect with my kid, because I don't know, this is your biological child. Do you think you would magically connect? Let's say you and Ashley have a child. Do you feel like you would magically connect with that child more than your other biological? I mean, maybe. But like, I don't know. It just seems odd to me that in his head, this is justified because Bride's a lesbian and she wants to raise a kid with a woman. And so because of that, it doesn't matter that he felt detached anyway, because, hey, I'm not a woman anyway, so I wouldn't have been in the kid's life. Question mark. That sounds crazy. Like, I don't know. That sounds absolutely insane to me.
To be around, it felt more of a uncle figure to me.
And what's so interesting, that's why I can never beat you up for the emotion that you don't, or the connection you don't have. And it's hard for me to hear, is because I'm a licensed foster parent as well as an adoptive parent. I adopted a total stranger, and I have a more connection to him, adopting him at 16 and he's 21, than you do with a young child. You know
exactly
what I'm saying?
What it is.
And I'm hearing you say this. I'm like, man, that's strange. But that's a deeper level. Like, I don't have the training or the license to deep dive into your emotional disconnection with a whole human being that came from your loins, that, but then I also understand it too, because in order for you to do this the right way, you can't feel like that.
You can't have those feelings.
You could have did that at the very beginning. After you made that decision, you said, this is not my child. And the minute where you donated your seed, you just said, I ain't gonna have no emotional attachment to it or whatnot, and you did it that way. So I understand that. Yeah. I just don't have that capacity, and I'm never going to project my capacity on you. And you're your own man, so you feel the way you feel. And I'm glad that you prefaced it by saying, I know it's maybe hard for people to hear and understand.
It's a lot of things, and I don't even think I made it clear that I'm not sitting here trying to say I did things perfectly. I'm saying I made a lot of mistakes, and I can see where people are upset.
Right.
Let's be very clear on that. I see it. But what I don't get is people upset at Ash. I'm going to keep reiterating this. That's my wife. I don't see why people are upset with her. She went on a show to fall in love. Be upset with me. I'm here to take accountability for my mess ups from my 20s up until.
The reason why they're upset with her is because as women, they like to rally behind all women and be like, girl, let me help save you from your foolishness.
And this is where Latera's starting to lose me. The reason why people are upset at Ashley is because they're gonna give he's gonna give some convoluted take that, I don't know, maybe that's true for some of y'all. I feel that the reason people are upset with Ashley is because people are confused. People are very confused. Woman, man. I don't really think this has a lot to do with, because they're going to go into how it's Black women tearing down Ashley or whatever. It's like, dude, At the end of the day, people are just confused how you can stand by this. That's it. There's no like deep inner meaning for why people are upset. People just, again, do not like it. One, people don't like deadbeat parents. A lot of people that watch this show have grown up with a deadbeat parent. You know, a deadbeat father, and a lot of people have had this situation verbatim where their father gets into a new relationship and all of a sudden he abandoned you. I had people in my comments, multiple ones of you in my comments, tell me that your father did this to you. So this is very triggering for you to see. And it's sad to see a woman like Ashley, who is beautiful, who seemed like she had a lot of potential on this show, stoop to this level and be that woman, be the woman enabling a deadbeat. And then the fact of the matter that Ashley was the one opening her mouth, defending Tyler, telling the story as if she was there before Tyler did. I think that really irritated a lot of people because it's like, why are you telling this story? This is not your story to tell. You weren't even there. This happened, what, 5, 6, 7 years before you came into the picture. So it's not about this, oh, because she's a black woman, as black women, we all want to defend her. I mean, again, maybe for some of y'all, that's the case. But I feel like that's so reductive to the reason why people are actually upset. Like, I don't know.
Right.
And so they're coming at it from a place of protection,
Yes.
security. You know, we women need to stick together, and you're abandoning our tribe with foolishness. But what they don't realize is that she is operating in the full capacity of what a wife is supposed to be. Because as a wife, it says, forsake all others. And that's the same as a man, forsake all others. I can't please you. If I please you, I'm denying the true essence and the covenant that I'm supposed to have with my spouse,
That part.
Man and woman.
Yeah.
So she don't have to validate their feelings based upon accepting what they say.
Yes.
She ought to just say, thank y'all so much. I thank y'all for y'all concern. But it's this girl on TikTok, Ariel Fitzpatrick, but I'm going to see for myself. That's what she always does, but I'm going to see for myself. Yeah. These are my vows that I took, and I'm going to make sure that I'm not dumb about it. I understand the information, but I still got to ride this thing out, because if I file for divorce or walk away from it, it has to be based upon the capacity I no longer was able to take, not what you're telling me I should take or not. And
that's the thing. How many people have missed out on opportunities because someone else told you to?
100%.
If she doesn't feel like she's in the wrong, or she feels like she's making a very good decision, which she's a very intelligent woman.
Absolutely.
Let her live.
Yep.
This is a marriage. This isn't boyfriend and girlfriend. If they don't know if we own property, they don't know what we have together.
What life is.
And you don't know what she's saying to me behind closed doors. She could be, I ain't gonna say, she could be banging my head off the table.
That's what I was about to say. She
Get
could
your stuff together.
She could be, it could be a whole lot of stuff that's going on behind closed doors. And that's the reason why I said, me as a man, the reason why I said I care about your marriage more than all this other nonsense.
Yes.
That's why I said that I'm going to make sure that everybody is protected as a husband and wife. And I said, I will let her see this footage before it's released. So whatever's been said, she can prepare herself.
Yeah.
Now I ain't editing nothing out of it.
Yeah.
But the reality is she's going to be prepared on how to handle it properly. All right. So the twins are conceived or donated, or what is the story behind this?
So again, her wife leaves. Little part that people don't realize either, her wife then came back. So once her wife came back, they were trying to push me out. So it was her wife came back and they were texting me like, okay, she's back. We want our family back. We want you to back out.
So now the narrative he's about to try to push, just a heads up, is that the wife, Deshawn, came back into the picture and they wanted to expand their family. And because of that, that's how the twins ended up being conceived. Now, we know already, because there are documents out there, as well as verified proof, that Bri and Tyler lived together when those twins were conceived. I feel like he's going to try to pull this narrative because Bri and Deshawn were still legally married in the state of Maryland, and I live in Maryland, and I am familiar with divorce laws in Maryland. in the state of Maryland, especially if you have a kid, it could take over a year to get divorced. You know, they had a kid involved in the picture. It's probably a more sticky situation. And oftentimes you may just have to be legally separated for a year. I believe that ended more recently, but nonetheless, they had a kid in the picture. So Tyler's going to try to pull that they tried to get back together because he probably believes that documents show that they were still legally married at the time the twins were conceived. So he's going to try to pull that, oh, the twins were also a donor situation. They were going to get married. You know, they wanted to come back together. And that's why the twins were conceived. That's the narrative he's trying to run with. And again, that's just a speculation. But I feel like I'm right.
They don't realize how easy it is for them to push me out their lives.
So how long was this going on? How long were you back in, so to speak?
I can't give a hard time frame. Let's say 6 months.
Once again, cannot ever give a time frame. Not once can this man say it was 5 months, it was 6 months, it was September of 2017. Every single time it's, I don't know, I don't remember. But he's telling the truth, right?
6 months. I was in this kid's life.
So in 6 months, you sitting up here picking the kid up from school. You
helping out.
You ain't playing uncle no more. You playing daddy.
Absolutely. Yep.
You got a shirt on and everything.
So no, hold on. The shirts were bought by her mom, which we can get into that. That's another topic because she's throwing, and I hate to jump from topic to topic. She is the stone thrower. You know, she's the one who started this. She says it came from someone else.
Look, they're going to go into a lot about her mom and how Bry's mom's not reliable, how Bry's mom hates that she's a lesbian, so nothing she says should be trusted because Bry's mom is really angry about this all. I'm going to skip over it because it's honestly irrelevant. We all know that, you know, I just feel like we all know that. Bry said that herself in interviews. So let's just move forward.
Going rampant, and she has her own. And the doctor said they said you can get it, but with twins, we're going to have to put you to sleep. So she said, I'm not going to get an abortion.
So sorry to get back into this part. Basically, Bry was going to get an abortion for the twins when she found out she was pregnant. So apparently the twins were an accident, ? But remember, just a few seconds prior, he said that Bry and Deshaun wanted to start their family again, and that's why he donated the sperm, and the twins were supposed to be intentional. Anyways, now the running story is that Bry was going to get an abortion, but because she had to be put to sleep for an abortion for twins, she no longer wanted the abortion. Now, could that be true? Maybe. But I've never heard of somebody who went into a doctor's office adamant to get an abortion, and the thing that stopped them was that they had to be put under anesthesia. It doesn't sound true. And as I said before, the running story is that now these twins were conceived because you donated more sperm because they wanted to, they rekindled their relationship and wanted to expand their family. Let's keep it pushing.
Abortion, right? So as being me, listen, I'm here. I'm back here. Let's rock. Let's do this.
Right.
I'm here with you. But then it spin very quickly to where she's going to these appointments with this woman. It feels more them again. So I started.
Sorry, I skipped a part. He said that Bry had a new girlfriend at the time. So apparently, somewhere in between when Bry and Deshaun wanted to rekindle the relationship and Tyler donated the sperm to them again to conceive these twins, and when Bry found out she was pregnant, Bry had a girlfriend. And now he's trying to say, or a fiance, girlfriend or fiance. He was trying to say that this new woman that Bry was with was actually actively involved with the twins and going to all the appointments rather than Tyler. Because remember, Bry said Tyler was actively involved, went to every appointment, this and that. So now he's saying that Deshaun was out of the picture again. There's no clarification on when Deshaun left and the new girlfriend came in. But that's now Tyler's new narrative, that the new girlfriend was involved with the twins, not him.
Detach again.
Right.
Shortly after the twins were born, I was around helping a good amount, but that girlfriend was still around as well. She was pretty much raising the kids. And I was there helping a significant portion. And then it hits about, let's say 7-8 months in. I'm trying to remember if I was even at the first birthday. I might have been at the first birthday of the twins, and I wasn't at 2, 3, 4.
So his narrative is that the girlfriend, when Bri got a new girlfriend, because remember, Tyler's narrative is that whenever Bri would get a girlfriend, a fiance, whoever, she would push him out and just want to raise the kid with a woman. Because again, he's trying to weaponize the fact that Bri is a lesbian for him being a deadbeat. The reason that he's a deadbeat is because Bri's a lesbian and only wants women and would never want a man in the child's life. Weaponizing this woman being a lesbian. Crazy work. Crazy wicked work. His narrative is that they pushed him out again when Bri was pregnant with the twins, but somewhere in between when he was pushed out while Bri was still pregnant and when the twins were born, magically he stepped back up again and he was fully involved. Again, no explanation for how he came back into the picture again because supposedly he was pushed out. But now he's back in again. He's actively involved till around 7 or 8 months. And keep that 7 or 8 months in mind because it's going to come back later.
She switched. She left that girl. She cheated on that girl, got with another girl who she's now engaged to. And then and that girl brought in 2 more kids. That's why, like, people sit online and they make it seem like it's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stickiest situation. And now as an adult where I'm able to comprehend more things, it's very sticky. When Bri gets into her relationships, she will push any and everyone out. There's a reason. And again, the same way you said you love her, I always love her. That's my friend. She has a way of focusing, and I know many people do it. You get in a relationship and your friends, the people who have helped you, they don't matter.
Right.
Your partner matters, but this is just your girlfriend. And I've watched you go from one to another, but she gets in these relationships and it's them. It's their bubble. So she's raising this family, having these kids. And me and Bri have a sit down one time. We meet up in Baltimore and I have a conversation with her and I tell her, I don't have this connection with these kids. I feel like a glorified babysitter. I feel like all you want from me is money to help fund your family. You want to raise these kids with a woman. I know, because I agreed to help you.
Yeah.
But the disconnect is, that's not how I want to be a dad. I was raised without a father and people are bashing me saying, you should know what it's like. No, it's different.
Oh, it's very different.
She is being raised. These kids are being raised by 2. They've been raised by 2 women constantly, whether it's a girlfriend or a fiance. It's been a 2-woman household this entire time.
In the season that you were active, do you consider yourself raising them or do you consider yourself just being a babysitter?
I didn't get to raise them. That's the thing. I didn't get to discipline them.
Oh.
I felt bad if I even said like, hey, don't touch that, because I wasn't around much.
Oh, okay.
It's that they never...
Even though you live downstairs from them, we're going to quantify. When we say not much and all that, we don't know what that means.
So let's do this. I wasn't an active parent.
So how often did you see this kid weekly?
The son at first, I would say I was seeing him more recently, 4 or 5 times a week, right? Him. Twins were born after, when they were babies from 0 to 6 months, I seen them pretty frequently, Monday through Friday, from 6.
So remember, just a few minutes ago, he said, oh, yeah, I was in the twins' life until 8 or 9 months. I don't remember if I went to the first birthday party, which again, crazy work. What parent doesn't remember if they went to their child's first birthday party? It's like you were either at the party or not, LYLER. Now, all of a sudden, I was active from 0 to 6 months. So what is it? Is it 7 or 8 months, or is it 0 or 6 to 6 months, Tyler? What is it?
0 to 6 months. After that, once her partner was consistently around again, a new partner, they've never spent the weekend with me.
So they're saying that when you get a new lover in your life, you abandon your kids. You're saying it's the opposite.
I can tell you that I've dated seriously 3 women.
Since these kids were born, or in your
no, just my entire life, and this is not including Ashley. So, at what point do these women come into effect? Because I dated when I stopped talking to, or when me and Bri had a conversation, I didn't have a connection. I felt like a glorified babysitter. I then went on to date a girl. I dated her for a year. I didn't see these twins or talk to them for almost 4 years. I'm not in serious relationships like that. That's the thing. I date, but I'm dating like everyone else, conveniently dating.
Yeah.
And they don't. No one is ever telling me what to do, like not be around these kids. They're playing house, not me.
So I want to stop again. What is it, Tyler? Is it that you were a donor? You shouldn't have been involved in the kids' lives. Bri wanted to raise the kids with a woman, or is it a problem? Because it's like you fluctuate back and forth between being like, I want these kids, she held me away from these kids, to, oh yeah, she raised the kids with a woman. And it's like, who cares? Like, again, he's falling into this, like, well, she only wanted the kids to be raised by a woman. It's like, who cares? You both have verified that you never dated, you were never in a relationship. So why in the world would it matter if Bri had another partner? It's no different than if a guy, you know, if two people break up and then y'all get into new relationships. So just because Bri has another partner, or just because she has a woman raising the children in the house with her, that enables you to be a deadbeat. You are on the birth certificate of those twins. You cut the umbilical cord. You were clearly the father. If it was a donor situation, again, with the twins, which lies, just full blown lies, then why is your name on the birth certificate? Like, it doesn't make sense, Tyler. It does not make sense. Your excuse cannot be that this woman is a lesbian and wanted to be with a woman, and that's the reason why you're a deadbeat father, because she didn't want a man in the kid's life. That doesn't even make sense. And the fact that he's falling into this and like really trying to push this narrative in front of us, first off, it's just icky, because you're weaponizing the fact that she's a lesbian. And that really, really is irritating me. But second of all, it's like, so what? You're allowed to get into new relationships, new marriages, new everything. But when Bri gets into something and she still wants you to provide child support for the children that you conceived, somehow that's wrong because she's a lesbian? Like, I just really want to understand what this means and what this is, because I am lost and confused.
No woman is moving in and living with me and any of that. So it's not affecting my life.
Yeah.
That's easy to say when you have pushed someone out because you want that family. You've told me she has told me to my face, I want to raise kids with a woman. I don't see how it's possible to do it with a man. And I get it. Like I said, I get it. So my backing out standpoint was, okay, well, this is affecting my life too. Because
you get it how? Because that just confused me. So you said you get what part?
That she wants to, because she's been with women her entire life. So to say that that's what you want and that's what you see your life as, if I want to be with a woman, that's who I want to raise my kids with,
But when
she's doing exactly what Ashley did in the Nick Viall interview, where Ashley was like, Bri reached out to me, after the fact, she reached out to me, trying to pretend like Bri reached out to her to apologize about what she said or to take back what she said, when in reality, she was just reaching out to Ashley because she wasn't aware of what Ashley knew or not. That's exactly what Tyler's doing right now, saying, oh, she said she wants to raise kids with a woman. When in reality, Bri probably said, yeah, like, I want to raise kids with my wife. She probably said something like, I want to raise kids with my wife. And now he's taking that and extrapolating and trying to twist the sentiment in front of our faces that, oh, that means that she said she didn't want to ever have a man in the kids' lives, which is just crazy work. It's just crazy. And like, it's honestly, they talk so much about insulting us, insulting their intelligence. They're insulting ours. You are insulting our intelligence, Tyler.
She's brought you into the light. So who brought who into this situation about, when the women disappear? Is it you asking to be in these kids' life, to be uncle? Or is she saying, hey, I need your help now, since, because is there both of y'all having a conversation saying, she said, I don't want to be a single parent. And you saying, I don't want my kids growing up in a single household, whether it's two women or me trying to help out. Let's come together and help provide some level of stability for these kids. Or what is this conversation like?
That's exactly what it is. It's the stability of kids having two parents. I honestly don't care if it's two men, two women, man and woman. I was raised in a single household. So it changes financially. It changes for support. Some parents they don't have their greatest day. So they need someone else to lean on at some point. So that was me. When I seen her struggling, and like I said, I'll take fault for that, where I'm like, hey, I'll step up. I'm here. Where she has showed me who she was. And I took it as, you're just going through tough times. You didn't mean to cut me out of your life. You didn't mean to let your wife come back and push me back out. You're still my friend. I still love you. And
Well, how'd you feel about that then? Since you didn't have an emotional connection with the kids in general, when you got pushed out, did you have an emotional connection getting pushed out?
No. So like I said, when it was time when we had that conversation, I took it as more of a shot at me as a friend.
Boom. Right then and there. That man said, I didn't even care about these kids. I didn't even care that I was pushed out of my children's life, supposedly. That I was supposedly pushed out of my children, allegedly pushed out of my children's life. I cared because I was insulted because I'm such a great guy, and that made me feel horrible because I thought that I was a good friend to her. This man, again, blatantly admits, didn't care about the kids, didn't care that I am their biological father, and I was not able to have a connection with them. But the thing that mattered to me is that I felt like she treated me badly. Me. It's all about me. Wow, what a cold guy. What a cold guy.
That's what I seen. It wasn't like a connection where it's this is hurting me. You're pulling me from these kids. It's, damn, we cool. Like I stepped in to help you. And then the minute, and sorry, I mean,
oh, you fine. But I told you.
Step in, it's a shocker to me. So she showed her face multiple times and it just shocked. It wasn't like, it was a hurt from a friend, but also like, okay, if these kids are safe and they're going to have a family, I know what I was signing up for. I have to understand that. And the only thing with me is I don't want to be a tiptoe dad, you know,
right?
Because that's what my dad was to me. And that's more hurting. And I would feel better if I didn't know my dad.
Right.
All right, y'all. I think we're going to stop here because first and foremost, I mean, this man is just lying left and right. There's actually one part of the interview where Lateris does ask him about the $10,000 and the judgment against him. He claims he never stepped foot in a courtroom. Mind you, again, creative wording. Him and Ashley, they love that creative wording. Baby, in Maryland, I live in Maryland. In Maryland, court cases have been on Zoom now since the pandemic. Most people are not stepping foot in courtrooms. So again, sure, you never step foot in a courtroom. At the end of the video, he shows Lateris some text message from Bri, but he's like, please don't read it out loud. Just, I'll show you and you could just, read it. Who knows what it said? Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Tyler and Ashley, they have resigned to lying. They have resigned to essentially denouncing those kids. And it is a sad story to watch. This is a sad, sad story. Honestly, very, very wicked. Like, these people are wicked. And the sad part is they're going to get what is coming to them. And that's not me wishing bad on them. But it's like, when you do this kind of stuff, it always comes back. Right now, it's all fun and games. It's all good. You guys want to stand on your union against the world. But at the end of the day, what the two of them have done to these kids, it's So anyway, that's all, y'all. If you made it to this point of the video, that means you liked the video. So please support the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. This is 150% going to be the last Love is Blind video for this season. No more Love is Blind videos. This is the last season 7 video. Thank you guys so much to all of you guys. Those of you who joined me here, all of the new subscribers, check out the other videos. I am doing Married at First Sight. That should be up by Friday. And I am going to be doing The Ultimatum in a couple of weeks. So check those videos out. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.